Hello, 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 everybody. You already know what time it is. It's time for the purpose conversation. And I know that y'all probably saw me a few minutes ago because I posted up a video and told you guys that, hey, we had less than 30 minutes and that it was going down. Well, guess what? It is now 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Ready or not, here we are. So I hope everybody has had an absolutely wonderful, wonderful week. I hope today ended your work week and everything just it was just beautiful. I don't know where you are right now, but I know I'm here in North Carolina and it has been really clear, kind of cool, really, really nice. And anyway, just makes the perfect ending to the work week. But I'll be honest, I was super, super excited about today. I've been anticipating this particular day for quite a while. I've been waiting for this particular show. I know you guys have seen the videos and you've heard me say, hey, who's going to be on tonight? And he is in the building. That's right, Prince Rahiem. He is definitely in the building. And but anyway, I just wanted to chat with you guys for a moment. I wanted you to tell you to go ahead and invite some people in. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on into the purpose conversation room because it's going down in just a few minutes. As I stated, I hope that you've had a good week. And for some of you guys, this is going to be a long weekend for you. So you don't necessarily have 2 days off, but because tomorrow is President's Day, you may have that extra day off. You know what? President's Day. I don't think I've ever in my life celebrated President's Day. What y'all doing for President's Day? Y'all doing something for President's Day? I mean, are we supposed to, cook out or, are we supposed to go and take our family out? How do you celebrate President's Day? And I'll be real honest. I know we've had lots of presidents within my lifetime. Um, but the only president that truly mattered at the time, and I hate to do even say all that because I know some of y'all are so politically correct, but you know what, it is what it is. The only president that I think that I probably would have even kind of sort of acknowledged during President's Day would have been President Obama. But you know what, and why not? Because it is Black History Month. Yay, yay, yay. And you know what? Why not? If I'm going to celebrate a president during Black History Month, I might as well celebrate President Barack Obama. But speaking of Black History Month, have you guys checked out the Black Excellence Spotlights I've been doing? Woo wee! I'm telling you, my friends are so freaking fabulous and amazing. And I know y'all are probably like, who is this woman? Every time you turn around, she's sitting there talking about the Black Excellence Spotlight. But you know what? I honestly, my daughter even said this. She says, Mom, how do you know all these people and stuff? Where do you get them from? Like I'm just sitting there just going around and getting people. But you know, when you are drawn to purpose, honestly, these amazing people are absolutely just drawn to you. And it's like, it's just kind of strategically connected. So because I'm drawn to purpose, purpose itself is drawn to me. So I have the opportunity to just celebrate all of Black excellence. And I am excited truly to do that. Speaking of excitement, y'all saw a few days ago, one of my Black excellent spotlights went to the legendary, extraordinary, the man, the myth, the legend, Prince Rahiem. Speaking of Prince Rahiem, I always say, but only because he says it, because I totally stole his quote. Yeah, Prince Rahiem, he might be a prince, but he is also a king. And honey, this king has something to say. And he has something to say here tonight on the Purpose Conversation. Now, I know you think of that Miami bass. And then, honey, if you grew up like me back in the day, that Miami bass, it was hitting, and Prince Rahiem was right there doing his thing. We're talking about lose my money, honey. I can hear the music in my head, and I'm just ready to shake some, shake something. I'm telling you. But you know what? Yes, repertoire of music. Check out his freaking catalog. We don't only have "Lose My Money, Honey." We have "Just Say Rock." I'm going solo. Oh my gosh, Prince Rahim. When I say he's a legend, he is a legend. And if you happen to follow him on any of his social media platforms, although I must say, on his IG, I think he's a comedian, because he cracks me up, and I'm like, hey, bruh, you know what? Daggone it, give me your phone. Give me your phone because he has me tripping and laughing. But he's so much more than music. He is so much more than music. And he has this his latest single, one that I just kind of I can't help it because I love music and I love bass and I love that Miami bass. But he has one called Bend Over, and I'll play a snippet of it for you as I bring him in. But anyway, Prince Rahim, by the way of New York. He is the producer, and he's a rapper from Miami, and like I said, by the way of New York. And he has hits that range near and far. And if you are right around my age and stuff, just guess. Then you already know what time it is. You know that we had a good time. For all of you guys that, man, I tell you what, I'm so glad that camera phones are not weren't available back in the day when we talk Freaknik and oh my gosh, those early 90s, man. Prince Rahim, he was out here doing his thing. But he's so much more than music. Tonight, you will see him in a totally different light. And I am so excited. I am so very excited to welcome to the stage. Uh, but, hey, the man, the myth, the legend, Prince Rahim. He's coming in 3, 2, 1. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
how you doing, darling?
Oh my goodness. Hey, Prince Rahim. What's up, Ra?
I am well. How are you, darling? How are you?
I am doing so good. I can't begin to thank you for your yes that you gave me 2 years ago to
Yeah,
come
this is
on to the
definitely
Purpose
2 years
Conversation.
in the making.
2 years in the making.
Definitely.
It's been quite a 2 years. We have, of course, the Purpose Conversation, this particular live podcast, it was birthed during the whole onset of the pandemic.
Hmm.
Um, it was either way it goes, it was going to happen, but I didn't realize that it was going to be in this particular type of atmosphere. But it
Yes.
has been such a blessing because it allowed me to meet so many phenomenal people, to talk to so many phenomenal people that I knew and just kind of network with. And
Hmm.
it gave us the time to sit still for a moment, to check each other out, to
That's
see,
right.
really pay attention to see what we all were doing, because everybody's on TikTok and everybody's on their phones. We always
Listen,
on our phones, right? Yeah,
you're
I got
not lying
look,
about
I'm
that,
always on
darling.
my daggone phone. So anyway, again, thank you.
No, I thank you for real. This is one that I've been waiting to do. You know that. Throughout the course of the period of the 2 years that we've waited, so much has gone on and transpired. And there's just so much that we're going to tackle and tap into today. Just know that this one here is so special to me. this podcast, this moment, this opportunity to share this space with you. Listen, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, everybody wants to hear all about music and people want to hear all about you. I tell you, your fans and your friends and everybody, they've kind of been, following and posting and they've been reaching out and stuff like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm setting my alarm. I'm going to set my timer. And I'm like, it's all good. But
Yeah.
people know you for your music. And I'll be real honest. I was so surprised to see that you. I mean, boy, you still you. Oh my gosh, you are still a freaking beast with that mic. Oh my
Let me
goodness.
tell you something. When it's your passion, when it's something that you love, you'll never get tired of it, and you're gonna always put your best foot forward. My last show, which was the Pompano Fall Fest, shout out to T Dog and Big Dreams Charities for allowing us to grace their stage. Let me tell you something. When I came and showed up, I came with a purpose because I had just spiraled off the Trick Daddy and Friends concert, which wasn't a real good show for me. For those who have seen my set, they know I put on every time. But unfortunately, I had a lot going on. A lot of people didn't know at that time, really right before I flew out to Miami to perform, I just got the news that I might have cancer. So I had to fly back, and come back to New York to get the diagnosis and find out what was going on with me medically. So my mind wasn't really there. On top of it, going on stage right before I hit stage, there was a gentleman by the name of Beatmaster Clay D. Shout out to Clay D. Had it not been for him opening the gateway, I wouldn't be who I am today. However, we had a kind of disagreement backstage prior to me hitting the stage. So my focus wasn't really there. And I mean, literally seconds before I went on stage, me and him going at it backstage. So it was a thing where my focus wasn't where it was supposed to be. Right as we're entering the stage, they tell us we've already prepared a running 7-minute set. They told us we had one song right as I'm walking onto the stage. So everything just was not going in the way that I needed it to go that show. So I felt I had something to prove. And I wanted to put on for the people who have supported my career for so many years. So we put a special set together just for that Pompano Fall Fest. And when I tell you the people received it so well, I mean, we took them on a journey. We danced because that's what we come from. That's that era. Nowadays, people too cool to dance. But
Right.
my generation, where I come from, the music we did, we loved
Yes.
to dance. You feel me?
Right.
So that's what we did. And we gave it to the people. And the same energy we gave them that night, they gave it back 10 times fold. So it was an amazing night. I mean, a star-studded lineup. He did his thing. Life Jennings, Kiki Wyatt. So I got a chance to just really get my feet wet back again with the stage, and it felt amazing.
Yes. Yes. Um, backtrack.
Yes,
I understand. I understand. How are you?
I'm here, baby. Um, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's scary,
Yeah.
but I have faith. I'm gonna tell you like this: God is a redeemer. Um, he's a forgiver. He's a healer.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, when the doctor told me that they pulled 9 to 10 polyps out of me that were cancerous,
Oh wow.
I
Wow.
froze.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think. My personal relationship was in shambles at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt alone. Then, like the only people, I had a circle of friends.
Yeah.
And during that time, it was rough because certain things was going on, and those individuals, a lot of them turned their back on me when I needed them the most. I never revealed to them what was going on because you know how God says, I'm going to put you in a room with some people.
Yeah.
It's not for them to know or to even understand what's going on or who you are truly to them. But I need you to see what their character is and how they're going to treat you. See, I don't want to give people information and then you treat me a certain way based upon what you now know.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
see how you treat me before you know. You feel
Absolutely.
me? And a lot of them were real cruel. I have friends like Mr. Charlie. I love him to death. That's my brother. He
Hmm.
and I walked each other through the loss of our brother, his more so his brother and a rap partner from Young and Restless, Linares, who we recently lost. Um,
Mm.
so, you know, he's been by my side for some years and he's walked with me through this. My manager, Jay Diggs, Diggs Dynasty Management, they were in the knowledge, you know. I mean, when I tell you I had medications and treatments and therapy and all this stuff out of the wazoo,
Yeah.
I was sick. I was feeling weak to the point where a lot of people didn't realize for a while I had just started posting videos
Yeah.
um, and like little funny stuff, some meaningful stuff, but I really wasn't posting pictures or images of myself.
Yeah.
There was a reason for that. During that time, during those months, without all the treatment and everything I was going through, I had lost a lot of weight. I had went down to 130 pounds
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was scared to
Yeah.
show people what I looked like because people are cruel,
Yeah.
you know? People are judgmental.
Yeah.
So, Father, give me the strength because this conversation is going to help somebody.
Thank you.
A lot of people see me um, and they don't really understand the man. They prejudge, they have preconceived notions of who I am,
Yeah.
or they may hear something based upon somebody who doesn't like me. And they now run with that flag and they spread it to anyone who will listen.
Especially when you're in
I,
the limelight.
hey, I tell people all the time, you want to know about Rahiem? Ask Rahiem because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you who I am.
Right.
Who Rahiem is a person who's compassionate about others. I love people. I love going out of my way to help other people. Prime example, there's many artists that can vouch for this. We all weren't working. I didn't have much, but I had an idea. And I
Mm.
said that since we're not working, I don't mind partnering up with my manager. We're going to spend our own dime, but we're going to put on our own show. And we're going to take our own show, win, lose, or draw. But we're going to make a shot at this. Let's give it a go. And the groups that were willing to stand by my side in allegiance during those times were Young and Restless, Southern Players, and Gucci Crew 2.
Okay.
Those are my brothers. I love
Okay.
them with passion. Win, lose, or draw. If we didn't win, they still got what I promised
Yeah.
because I'm honorable. There's not a lot of honorable people in this industry, and I've
Hmm.
always tried to keep my face clean and not muddied up because of something that I may have done that rubbed somebody wrong. However, I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm flawed. So I may sometimes say things that are, taken the wrong way. I may have my own idea of how a certain situation may be running. And if a person asks me, I'm going to give it based upon my opinion of it.
Right.
That doesn't mean that it's correct. I'm not
Hmm.
saying it's the Holy Grail. Don't take it to the bank, but I'm saying this is my view of it. People hold you accountable for stuff like that, you
Yep.
know? But guess what God said to me? He said,
What?
Rahiem, you can do one out of two things. You can sit in your sorrows and you can be scared because I didn't raise you to be fearful.
Mm.
You're a king, you're a warrior. You've always had a fighting spirit. You
Yes.
are only child who, against all odds, made it out of the roughest projects in the Bronx, only to
Mm.
be thrown into the roughest project in Queens. So I went from the Bronx, RPT, River Park Towers, one of the most deadly, notorious projects in the world to this date. Okay.
Wow.
I survived that. Jumped off the porch early. I'm out there early at 7 by myself, navigating, watching. I'm
Wow.
seeing the hustlers out there. I'm seeing the dudes stabbing. I'm seeing the shooters. I'm seeing it all. But I'm learning. I'm learning the dangers of this world we live in. I'm learning it young.
Yeah.
So these are lessons that these screenshots I'm taking as I navigate my way through this life I gotta live, right? Because I
Yeah.
know everything that I'm seeing and I'm going through at some point in time in life is going full circle and come back around. I'm gonna have to utilize those tools.
Yes.
God never leaves you barren. A lot of
Mm.
people don't think God provides, but I'm gonna tell you, God is the ultimate provider.
Yes, he
Because I
is.
tell you this one thing that I hold true to. There is no situation in life that you'll face that he hasn't already prepared you for.
Mm.
You just have to know what tool to use in that moment. Sometimes it's silence, sometimes it's action, sometimes it's just to be still.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
And a lot of people don't get that. So people move upon their own accord and they judge you based upon certain things that they may have seen and took out of context. I've got a lot of that in my lifetime. I don't hold it against people. That's who we are. I don't hold anyone accountable. For anybody that had beef with me in 2022 that still carries that torch, I wave the white flag, you win.
I know
Because I
that's
have
right.
I have beef with nobody.
Right.
I'm trying to live my life and better my life and get on to a better situation. See, because God said, Rahiem, you ain't gonna lay down. You got a son, we're gonna tap into that too. You
Yeah.
know, I lost my son, because you
Yeah.
walked with me through it. You used to hit me up all the time just to check on me. A lot of people that I thought would never did.
Right.
I had to cut a lot of people off.
Yeah.
That started my pruning season. A lot of people don't understand what that means, but
Ooh,
God
I
gives you a
know.
season where you're gonna have those people that you would die for, and they're gonna expose who they are in a real moment. Now, you have again discernment. You have to say, okay, is it just this moment, or now think back, were there other moments that were just as severe, maybe not this serious, but just as severe, where they should have stepped up and they never did?
Right.
Hey, once they show you who they are, you have a choice. You can accept it or you don't have to. I made a
Right.
choice to cut it all off, cut off the poison. It doesn't feed me. You feel
Right.
me?
And it's so funny that you say that because it kind of reminds me of a conversation that you and I had about the pre-show a couple weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago. And I was sharing with you how, my loved one that was going through, that was recovering from treatments to cancer. And how one of the things that still helps to fuel healing was just to be in that positive mind state.
Yes.
And so when you said that, it just kind of reminds me of just kind of the positivity. As a matter of fact, it looks like one of my purpose friends is on here, and I'm gonna put on these specs so that I can read. Okay. Okay. Actually, who did I tell you that I was trying to get to come on and I had to send the link to him? My
Mom.
mama. Well,
Hi,
she done made
Mom.
it. She not only made it, she left a comment. She says, "Yes, my brother, I feel you. I can walk with you. I know exactly what you're speaking of. Continue to keep the faith." That's beautiful.
Thank you.
How do you, just as you encourage other, if you, for anybody that's wrestling with a sickness, especially a sickness like cancer, because I know firsthand how that just doesn't, it doesn't just impact you, because it definitely impacts you, but it impacts your family. You
Everything.
definitely see who's truly there rocking with you for real, like you said,
You
right?
ain't lying.
What advice do you give to that person that's like really struggling with this sickness and this illness? What do you say to them? Maybe they're no longer, maybe they're now cancer free, and and they've gone through the treatments, but the after effects of so much of the stuff, that they're having to endure with their bodies, and watching their bodies not necessarily being the same.
Hmm.
How do you, because you're on camera, and you look good.
Thank you, darling.
You look good.
I feel great.
That's awesome. But what about those people that are not feeling so great, that are not feeling comfortable, that are struggling in that area? How what do you say to them to encourage them?
I'm gonna tell you this to my brothers and sisters who are in that struggle currently. There are gonna be some good days and there are gonna be some horrible days. But what I encourage you to do is never give up faith.
Yeah.
Never stop believing that and hoping that there's going to be a turnaround for you. See, a lot of us missed our point of being able to be at a place of a turnaround because we waited too long to find
Mm, mm-hmm.
out.
Mm.
I encourage my men, especially because our kings, we had this thing about going to doctors and getting checked up and all of that blood workup and physicals. We have issues with that.
Yes, speak on it.
Um, So, what I'm going to say to my family who is now in a struggle with cancer, don't give up. I don't care what a doctor tells you because the actual master physician
Yes.
has the final say. See, they told me that it was stage 2 pancreatic cancer. And, you know, you hear those words, it's like, how do you move forward? It paralyzes you.
Mm.
Now, mind you, I'm hearing this as I'm dealing with still the newness and the revelation of losing my son who was murdered in 2019.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm still not healed from that.
Right.
And I'm asking God, like, why? See, a lot of people are scared. A lot of people are fearful to question God. But I tell people this all the time. When you were in school, you had a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't understand something, you questioned.
That is correct.
God is our master instructor to give us our instruction for this life while we're here on earth. And if there's something that I have a problem and I don't understand, I find it not offensive because he doesn't find it offensive for me to question him. He
Mm.
wants to give me the answer, but in order to get it, I have to ask.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's fearful, let go, do away with all that old thinking. Let it go. Listen to me, let it go. I promise you, there's a better way to approach him. Talk to him like he's your best friend. That homeboy that you have that comes to your crib every Sunday to watch the game with you, talk to him like you're talking to that dude right there. That's what he wants from you, that realness. He wants you to be real enough to tell him when you're mad at him. Because when
Mm.
I got diagnosed, I told him I was mad. I didn't understand why you would take my son and then hit me with this.
Right.
I don't understand. What did I do to people that was so wrong that this is what my reward is? I try to be good to people. I try to be kind to people. I try to be observant to how I make others feel. I'm not always on point with it. Don't get it right. Don't get it twisted. I'm flawed, as I stated. I don't always do the right thing or say the right thing, but my intent is always great. So I revealed to him that I was upset and angry. And I just prayed and I just stayed patient because I knew this couldn't be how my journey is supposed to end. My journey cannot end with me dying of cancer. My journey cannot end with my children's heart still being broken, not only from the loss of their brother, but now the fear that their dad is dying. That
Right.
this is not the end all for my family. No. So I gave it all to him. I gave it all to him. See, a lot of people see my post and they see me smile. There's so much behind that smile.
Yeah.
They don't even understand the struggle that I give just to smile. But they talk about me. There's a lot of people who talk down about me. There's a lot of people I call brothers that I recently found out still talk down about me, and I'm still extending the olive branch. It cuts like a knife, but guess what? I'ma still smile.
Yeah.
Why? Because my God says, baby, I got something better for you. I needed you to see this.
Mm,
I needed you to see who they were to you. And I needed you to see that the love you have for them ain't the love they have for you. So cut them off. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I have to. It's not because it's my choice, but it's what I have to do
right.
because you left me no option. So, I tell people, thank God for my tears. A lot of people say I'm an emotional person. Yes, I am. I'm in tune with my emotion. And I thank God for that because a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, especially men. Right. A lot of men
Us
aren't.
mostly us.
Yeah.
They say it's a sign of weakness, but actually it's actually a sign of strength.
Yeah.
When I love people, when I love something, I cry over it. If something goes wrong with it, if they're hurting, it affects me in a way that it affects them because I feel for them. I'm compassionate and I have empathy. So I come from that place. But I also tell people, thank God for my tears because if not for these tears, then there'd probably be a lot more reaction.
Yeah.
See,
Let
because
me ask.
I'm not far removed from the street. I'm still in tune.
I know.
I just carry myself as a king because again, I've matured and I've come to an age where you do away with certain things. You got a lot of young
Woo,
men,
yes.
and I call them young men. They my age, but they're young men out
Yeah.
here in this world that still carry themselves like they're 20.
I feel you.
They haven't mastered the craft of knowing how to harness that emotion and not react just upon what somebody said or moved because somebody did something. Because 9 times out of 10, that moment is very insignificant. It's just that a moment, one that will pass. So give it the proper time it needs and get past that shit. Take it with a grain of salt and keep it pushing. That's G shit.
That's
And
absolutely.
excuse me, I don't know if I could curse. I didn't mean to, but
You
again,
good.
I'm just very, I'm here with it and I'm really just in tune. I'm in a feeling, I'm in a zone right now. So the way it comes is the way it comes. And I just want people to understand I'm
You are
real.
good.
I'm not, I don't put on airs. I don't go out my way to try to be something that I'm not. I want people to know I'm a father. I'm a grandfather recently.
Yes,
Again,
congratulations.
my 19-year-old daughter recently had my granddaughter Journey, my baby,
Yes,
my
and she
Journey.
is gorgeous. And
That's my little boo.
I see you
I wear
spoiling
her
her.
proudly. And I have another daughter, my other daughter that's in South Carolina. I'll be traveling to Aiken, South Carolina come March 11th. Either March 10th or 11th. I got to look at my reservation again. I leave to go to Aiken, South Carolina to be with her for her baby shower. She's expecting
Oh
in
my
April.
goodness.
I'm nervous because with her having a boy, it's going to be a boy.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
it's like, could he be born on my son's birthday? My son was born in April. So, it's a lot of that emotion going around. Everybody's excited. And 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 again, I tell people God is real. My son was taken from me horribly. He was murdered by a grown man in 2019.
Oh wow, wow.
Um,
Yeah.
and I need people to understand when I say my son, he was mine because, although not biological, from the age of 5 until the day he died, he was with me.
That's right. It was your son.
That's mine.
Yeah,
Blood couldn't make him any more my son because
right.
when he was sick, I was there. When he had broken bones, I was there. When he was scared and needed somebody to step up, I did that. I
Yeah.
encamped his friends, anybody that he was in contact with. You had to come in my house. You had to sit down. You had to talk to me. I had to know who you were. I had to know who your parents were. Where do you live?
That's
What are you
right.
about? Because, see, I know what my son's into. I might not know it all, but I don't see. A lot of parents live in this fantasy. My son is this great child.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
son was mischievous. Okay. He was a mess boy, just like his dad.
Okay.
You feel me? I was a mess boy. And he was just the same. He got into shit. He was rambunctious. But that's who we are as young men. Does that rambunctiousness mean that he should have lost his life?
Right.
No,
Right.
it does
Right.
not. Um, and I'm pretty sure that there are going to be those on the opposing side that know and support the killer, that will view this. They know where I stand. I'm JoJo World forever to the day I die. And I stand on what I said then, and I say it again now. Lord, forgive me for how I felt. Lord, forgive me for how I sometimes still feel. But if things were different and I had caught that young man, he wouldn't be here to talk about nothing. There'd be no court date. You
I can
took my heart.
imagine. Yeah.
You took my heart. And when they arrested him, see, I ran his ass out of New York. He couldn't stay here because the dude who did it, he lived blocks from me. So his block was on fire. He couldn't stay here. He
Right.
fled. He went to South Carolina. His sister called me. We talked. She told me she ran him from his crib. He couldn't stay there. She didn't want no drama. She wanted no problems. I told her, baby, I ain't gonna bring nothing to your crib. I just want him to stand on what he did. Tell him don't run. You wasn't running when you pulled that gun and you shot my son and his best friend. Those were kids. You're a grown man. They were 16. You were 20 plus years old. So y'all really have nothing in common other than my son and his best friend spanked two of your friends that are their age. Why did you even intervene?
Right.
If you weren't coming to say why y'all arguing and beefing, you shouldn't have came, baby boy.
Right.
You shouldn't have came. Like I say, I came from the BX.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Harlem. So I was born with a hustler spirit. My godfather, Jeff, my god brother, Jesse, God bless the dead, my god brother, Kevin, all had hustler spirits. My cousin Kevin was such a hustler. He went from being an unknown to driving Whitney Houston around.
Wow.
That's how much of a hustler he was.
Wow.
Everybody knew who my godfather was and is to this day. His name rings bells still. And like I said, I left Harlem. They moved us to the Bronx. So I was raised up in the Bronx. And then we moved to Homicide Hollis, Queens. We call it Run DMC country.
Yes.
Because although Hollis was the smallest nook in radius, our neighborhood kicked out the biggest hip hop stars.
Yes.
Run DMC, Salt and Pepper, who lived up the
Yes.
block. You had Black Rock and Ron, LL Cool J stayed down the block on Farmers. So like that nook, that nucleus right there was very, very driven and influential in this hip hop movement. A lot don't know that that's what kind of spiraled me to move to Florida. My best friend was a rapper. I was a beatboxer. I didn't rap. I didn't know how to rap. I couldn't put two words together. And that's honest.
Oh my gosh. I know you lying.
Listen, I'm very serious. When I came into the game, even when I got with Clay D, I was not a rapper. I was a beatboxer. And I told him, bro, I can't rap.
Man.
I could beatbox though. I could do some sounds with my mouth that might blow your mind. I could do that, but he was like, nah, man, nah, you got a tone. You got a vocal tone. We're gonna work with that tone. So all right, whatever. He never lied. He made me a household name. Him, Magic Mike, mostly. Magic Mike, because had it not been for him, I would not have wanted to rap. Mike was the reason I wanted to rap.
Wow.
He told me, Rahiem, you're dope. Write your own shit. You don't have to reference nobody else's raps. Put it together. He made me come to his house every day after school, religiously. If I missed a day, he would come to my house looking for me. And I'm like, oh my God, is that nigga at the door? Like I couldn't miss a day. So I'm grateful because he gave me a work ethic that has lasted me since I was a teenager. You feel me? Like those things that he did, those grassroots between him and Clay D, they made me a monster when it came to the studio shit. Like my brother, I got a brother by the name of Big Reem. He has Big Dream Entertainment. Shout out to Big Dream. Shout out to Chaos, Mr. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They witnessed it. I come in the studio, they're like, how much time you need, man? She, give me 15 minutes, bro. What? Give me 15 minutes, man. Stop
Wow.
playing. Right. Give me 15 minutes, man. I go in the booth, verses, ad libs, doubles, stacks, everything that I
Put
need
it
is
down in
in there.
15
15
minutes?
minutes. I'm one and done. Let's go. Can we
What?
do the next song now? Could y'all stop fucking up so we can get to the next song, please? You feel me? That's who I am. So they see the work ethic. They see that I'm not a quitter. I don't know how to stop. But baby, like there's so much. Oh man, when I say so much, musically, since people know me for the music,
Yes.
a lot of greatness is going on right now. I'm a part of this company. The name of the company is Miami-based Coalition.
All right. Shout
It's
out
a
to
brand new
Miami-based
company.
coalition.
Yes. And it's comprised of my brothers. My brothers, Mr. Charlie from Young and Restless, 240 Shorty from Gucci Crew 2, Byron Big Dreams, my cousin Cash, who is my hype man, Smoking Meats, and my manager, Jay Diggs, Diggs Dynasty Management.
That's right.
Um, we've come together not just to be artists to perform, but actually as a production and promotion company. We
Okay.
put on shows, put on concerts. We have our first event coming to the Titusville Mims area, and we're very excited about it.
When, when,
April 8th,
when?
yes, April 8th, it goes down at the Gibson Center. We had a change of venue. It's going down at the Gibson Center in Titusville, Florida. We
Okay.
have one of Titusville's own, Jay Key. She's on the lineup. We have two of the artists that I believe in that I signed to label deals, label situations. One is the artist by the name of Low Cash. He's out of Havana, Florida. When
Okay.
I tell you, they are gonna love him. The other is Grizzo out of South
Okay.
Carolina,
Okay.
and they're gonna love him as well. We got some surprises that's gonna come that night. But the next spot after we finish with Titusville, we're going to Brooksville, Florida, and we
Okay.
have some additions. We got some Southern Soul babies that are going to be on that lineup.
Oh no. Southern Soul, that
One
has been
like
like your
Miss Candy.
thing.
See, I know that. We grown, so we love the Southern Soul. You feel me?
Yes.
So, I've already been in negotiations and got the contract from Miss Candy Janae. Thank you to Candy for reaching out. So she's going to be on the Brooksville show. I'm now in contact with an artist by the name of Jet Black out of New Orleans. She has a song by the name of Trucker. Her song is amazing. I'll put you on with that too.
Yes.
Sassy D. So, we got some people that's going to pop out.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I tell you, and when you speak music, you know what? You light up. You light up. And I know that it's all a part of just kind of like I know that that's part of your purpose. Music, of course, it's part of your
Oh, yeah.
purpose. But when you think of purpose itself, what do you think? First of all, what does purpose look like to you right now? And I've never asked that in that way,
Right.
but what does purpose look like to you right
Uh,
now?
to be honest, what purpose looks like to me right now
Yeah,
is me allowing the world to never forget that Josiah Elisha Tucker lived.
I love it.
He was somebody with purpose. He self-taught himself. He was self-taught from barbering to drawing. He was so great with his hands. You could put something in front of him and say, Josiah, I want you to draw that. And when he's done, no tracing, it looks just like what you put in front of him. Now, he started that at the age of 7,
Oh wow.
and it continued all the way until he passed away.
Wow.
Um,
And this was
he
above your refrigerator wall, your refrigerator
Listen, let
art.
me tell you something. This young man, let me tell you how great he was. I tell people he was a king. My son was a king and is a
Yes.
king still because his spirit still lives through me and everybody that loved him. He had a lot of love out here. A lot of people loved my son. Um,
Ye-
People I didn't even know. When I tell you his funeral was like a celebrity passed away, um, they were out the door. That's how many people attended. Um,
Wow.
It's like the reason I see purpose is letting the world never forget,
Mm-hmm.
because the foundation that I have in this honor is called One Life, One Shot. My son loved basketball. And as we know, you got one life and one shot at this life.
Right.
So I wanted to combine the two things, that life, that one life, and that shot, that basketball, and put it together and start tournaments all around the world. But more than tournaments, I wanted to start conversations. Um,
Okay.
see what we have going on in Titusville. Day one is the concert, which is that Saturday. But that Sunday, we have an open forum where we'll have the mayor of Titusville, we'll have the police of Titusville, we'll have clergy from Titusville, and we'll have some of the community leaders in Titusville, along with the artists, on a
Mm-hmm.
panel. And we're giving an open forum for the youth and teen and young adults to now come. Open your voice and open your mouth, let your voice be heard. I want to bridge the gap between police and youth community,
Oh,
just
that's beautiful.
engagement and understanding, because there's a lack of trust. There's always been a lack of trust based upon things that we continue to see. We just lost
Right.
Tyree Nichols. Here we go again. We just saw another young man who was tased to death, you know.
Yes.
So it does not stop for us. How do we get to a place that kids are not fearful? Kids don't, run the minute they see you, giving you a reason to think that they're doing something wrong, when honestly, they may not be doing anything, just walking home. But because of the
Right.
fear and the climate of where we are in America, they feel the necessity that if they're close to home, try to run there. Get there as quick as you can because he's following you
Mm,
now. We shouldn't be there, but that's where
right.
we are. So my goal is to, as I did with my son's friends, as I stated, I brought him in. I needed to know who you were. I needed
Right.
to have a relationship with your parents. And yeah, I know y'all out there, and I don't know what y'all do all the time. I know you smoke a little weed here and there. Guess what? Bring your ass to my house behind the confines of my door. Why give them a reason to fuck with? I'm going to teach you some things, some lessons, so that you can carry them through your life. Lessons like learn the laws of where you stay,
Oh,
learn the
wow.
guidelines and the codes of where you stay, because they can help you. Like, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of the youths here in New York, and this is what one thing that I've implemented to a lot of them. Do you understand that New York is a non-ID carry state? So if you're pulled over and a cop asks you, where's your ID? They cannot arrest you. They can't even ticket you for not having your ID. Most of
Wow.
them don't know it, and they get so
Right.
nervous because now the cop tells them this justifies my reason and my action, and to now further proceed investigating what I stopped you for, which was
Mhm.
bullshit from the beginning.
Right.
We can stop a lot of the things just by doing our due diligence. Parents are not being parents anymore. Parents have become friends. I'm not a
Mm,
friend of my children.
right.
If your children are never upset with you about anything that you've said or stopped them from doing, then you're not being a parent, you're being a friend.
Right. Mom be mad all the time. I don't care.
Talk
I'm like,
about it.
turn your location on.
Listen, my my
We
my daughter,
definitely.
my daughter is 19. My daughter has a child, has her own situation going on. She
Yeah,
still gets mad at me because dad is going to be dad.
that's
And she
right.
knows it. She loves me for it, but she despises me for it at the same time.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
But that's a part of this thing that we as men are supposed to embrace. Life ain't always going to be easy. We got to figure it out. We got to navigate it. Man, we have to step up. There's too many boys draped in grown men bodies because
Right.
they encourage a lot of the BS that goes out in the streets. They know that their kids out here toting guns,
Right.
but they harbor it. It's the secret between them. It's G code. No,
Right.
that's weak code. Because if you was
Mm,
G about it, you tell your son, if you got an issue with a man, be a man about it. Leave that gun home and you go talk to that man, or you go and you fight that man. Guess what? Because at the end of the day, after that fight, you and that man can walk away and y'all still here. Nobody went to
that's
jail.
right.
Nobody died. Nobody went nothing. Y'all might not like each other, or the better solution is you might mess around and become best friends.
That's
Because I'll
right.
tell you a fact. I've had fights, fist fights with dudes, and we both had straps. We both put the straps to the side, gave them to our mans, and we fought. And me and that dude became best friends to this day.
Wow.
Guess what? we gave each other the level of respect to say, you know what, we could have really took it a different route, but we were both man enough to say, you know what, it ain't about that. Yeah, this is easy to do. This is easy.
Right.
But do you got the heart to really do it how it's supposed to be done? If you can't settle the difference with a discussion and it has to go somewhere, take it back to this, man.
That's
I
right.
got Chief knocked out because I'm a fighter. I'm not
Right.
scared. These niggas is punks. And you got a lot of grown men that are raising punks. You
Well,
raising
you know
scary
what?
niggas because they won't fight. They'll shoot quick as hell, but they ain't
Oh
gonna fight
yeah.
nothing. They ain't gonna shake nothing. I'll shake a
But
room.
just to have a man, first of all, for you to be able to allow um, everything that I guess the death of Josiah, aka JoJo,
JoJo will forever, baby.
JoJo forever, but you've allowed his death. Not only you letting people know that hey, he lived, but it pushed you to pour into other young men in a way that a lot of them probably wouldn't have been able to do it. Do you have a particular, what's the name of the foundation again?
The foundation
And
is one life, one shot.
one life, one shot. Um, and I think that that's awesome. I think that's awesome, especially if you can help to bridge the gap and get them to thinking and pouring into them in ways that they may not necessarily
Oh
be
yeah.
able to get that anywhere else. Um, as a grieving parent, though, it's like, where did you muster that strength to even be able to tap into that, to know that this is what you're supposed to do?
I'm
Because
gonna
a
tell you
lot of
what
times you
happened.
hear moms that are grieving, mothers that have lost, their children to violence or death, or even to, the child may have unalived themselves. And,
Mhm.
um, but I don't hear very many fathers that have lost their child. I can't even imagine the grief. I can't even
It's
imagine. I,
real.
I can't imagine the healing process. I can't imagine. I have a very good friend who lost her son over 10 years ago. And all of a
Mm.
sudden she had a dream about him. And she's like, it was so real. He was so here. And, you know, but it's like a sadness that seems to never go away. And there's nothing that anybody, me, that I could say to make them feel better. How did you allow yourself to be able to tap into that particular thing that you knew that you had to do something different, and God allowed you to walk in your purpose in in light of JoJo? How
Well,
does that happen? How do you encourage those parents? What can, I can't say anything to them. What can you say to that
well,
to that grieving parent that's
what I would say is this. When you lose a child, it's different than losing a mother, a father, a sibling. Um, when I tell you it's something that haunts you, even when you try not to allow it to, it haunts you because it's been 3 years. Okay.
yeah.
Um, I just found out last week that ironically, the trial begins for my son's murder on the day that my son was murdered.
Oh, Ra.
March 13th is the first day. So I'm gonna tell you where my strength came from.
Yeah.
As a grieving parent, I had to go through the emotional roller coaster first. And when I tell you the storms were greater than I ever imagined, because I've experienced death firsthand. My best friend died in my arms. Rest in peace, Divine. He's the reason that I picked up a mic. Okay. So I honor him every time I spit. That's for him. And I've honored him since I was a teen. And I still do it to this day. So I had to figure out if I could honor my best friend from
Yeah.
then, how dare I not find the strength to honor my son? And it's like I as I stated, I went through the waves. I went to a point where I drank myself to a point where I almost died. I was in the hospital. I posted a video on Facebook. People can go back to the video. If they go through my timeline, they'll see it. I was in a hospital bed. I was wearing my JoJo. It's a light blue hoodie with my son's picture on it. And I was telling people we got to take care of ourselves. Oh man, you know, things are scary for me right now. I don't know what's going on, but we got to hold on to our faith. That was
Yes.
my message, to hold on to faith. And that night, my doctor told me my blood was septic. I hadn't passed bowels in Lord knows how long. So it was very bad for me. It was dire for me.
Yes.
They had put me on medication, and it still, all the medication through IV still would not release my bowel. It was very bad. Um, Again, this is something that I never share with people because I'm just going through it. Um, they're not realizing. Don't worry about my grief. He had a mother. He had sisters. My
Yeah.
daughter was 4 years old. My other daughter was 9. We just celebrated her birthday the night before he was murdered.
Oh,
So
wow.
every year, she doesn't want to celebrate her birthday anymore.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't want to. So I had to watch all of this. I had to watch his best friend, his sister, who's only 19 months apart from him in age, my Nene. I had to watch her.
Oh, wow.
Watching her go through what she went through. My baby put her life in jeopardy. She put herself in harm's way so many times. You feel me? Um, so I said, Lord, what am I supposed to do? And he let me hear my son's voice. My son spoke to me. My son said, Dad, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, man? You know I'm your biggest fan. Get up.
Oh,
Don't you
wow.
dare lay down. You better get up and you better fight. You better fight for me. How are they going to know about me if you lay down and die? Get your ass up, Dad. Get up. And I kept hearing it. I kept hearing it. And I sought out a group that became my best friend. The name of the group is Life After Loss. Stephanie Drain and her husband became my best allies because they gave me a place that I could just express my anger. I could express my pain. I could express everything that I felt because everybody else in that room had suffered the same loss. There wasn't
Yes.
one person, and I mean the room was full of maybe 30 people. Every last one of every individual lost a son, lost a daughter. So we were all in the same space. Some just as recent as I, others, it had been 12 years, but it still felt like yesterday. So I got a chance to express. She then asked me, Rahiem, could you do me a favor? Would you mind speaking for this, uh, for Life After Loss? I became a keynote speaker. So any event that they had, I was asked to speak. Why? Because as you stated, fathers, for some reason, feel as though they have to be stoic.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. A lot of households and families were broken apart because of that position. Why?
Mm,
Because the wife felt as though he didn't care. He
mm.
was so strong and so built and fixated on never showing emotion that he never grieved with her. That woman was broken.
Yeah.
See, we have to understand that we as men, as the fathers, we hurt a certain way, but they hurt a different way. They bonded with that child from the time that child was in them and they knew. There was a love that grew in that woman for that child from the time she knew until the time that child was born. And all the nurturing, caring, and worrying and praying over that child that she could do, when that child is snatched, it hits her differently.
Yes. Right.
So I said, okay, I have to absorb this, but I still have to be human enough and transparent enough to let other men know it's okay. So I came from that point in that stance. And I would go into these meetings and these open engagements with people who may have just lost a child. There was a young kid here in Long Island who got set up by a young girl. Um, Basically, he was new to the area. He was from my area, Hempstead. He moved out to Freeport and was going to a school further out. The girl lured him. She had a boyfriend. The boyfriend didn't like him because he was the new popular kid, very handsome young man at that. Um,
Mhm.
she lured him to a pizza spot, thinking that he's like, I don't know my way around. You know, it'd be cool if I had a friend that could just show me around. She acted like
Right.
she liked him, got him to the pizza spot. The minute that he gets there, it was him and one more of his friends. Somehow they locked his friend in the bathroom. They chased this young man into the street and stabbed him to death. He died in
Oh
the
my
street.
gosh.
I spoke at his family's vigil, and I spoke at the open forum they had for him in the community. And when I finished speaking, man, woman, or child, there was not a dry eye. Because one thing that God gave me was the innate ability to be able to use words
Oh,
and touch somebody with my words. Somebody that may be going through something now. I don't have to know you personally. I don't even have to know your situation. But there may be something that I say that resonates with you in such a way that you can't deny it and it brings you to tears. And I've done it time and time again. I don't mind. I tell you, my very first performance in honor of my son was at the old school reunion for in Palm Beach County, Riviera Beach.
mhm.
Very first time that I made mention of my son's passing. And for those in attendance, they saw the transparency of a real man because I thought I was strong enough and ready to talk about it, and I wasn't. And on stage, I broke because there was a part where there was a guitar, and that's all that played, this electric guitar. Um, and as that was playing, I started talking to people about those who may have had friends and family who turned their backs on them. That it's going to be all right. Stay encouraged. God ain't done with you yet. And I fell into, you know, the story of my son. And I explained to them that my son was only 16 and he was murdered by a 24-year-old man. Um, and how it affected me. And as I began to pour into the people, I started to cry because I was singing. I was telling them when I say JoJo, y'all say word. JoJo word. JoJo word. When I say JoJo, y'all say word. And as I got to that part, me hearing my son's name right in front of all of them people, you talking about thousands of people. And where the average artist would have cringed, I
Yeah.
embraced that
Yeah.
moment. And I looked at everybody in that audience. And as I looked over them, I saw even the hardest dudes with the goals grilled up, dreadlocks, bald heads that was just standing like this with tears in their eyes. Because what I said before I mentioned my son was if there's anybody here tonight that has lost a son, my heart bleeds for you. Peace be still.
Wow.
And then I went into the story of mine. So I first identified with their pain before I revealed my own.
Right.
See, a lot of people are so selfish that they don't know what it is to be selfless.
Mm.
It's not about me, it's about y'all. Anybody who comes into attendance to my show, I am going to take you on a journey. We are going to dance and we're going to party. But you're going to hear my son's name and you're going to scream it because you're going to know he lived. And they don't understand those over 11,000 in Pompano that scream JoJo World for me.
JoJo World.
They don't know what they did for me. They gave me the energy to fly off that stage. And Lord knows, baby girl, when I jumped off that stage, damn it, I didn't know it was that high. I was flying like, oh Lord, this stage is high. But
They
they
didn't
gave
catch
me
you.
what I needed. You hear me? They gave me life in that moment. And I
Wow.
just fed off that energy. And I leaped off that stage and I became one with the people because I'm tangible. You could touch me. You can talk to me. I'm approachable. I might not be friendly with everybody, but I'm approachable. You feel me?
Yes, yes. And I think, wow, Ra, you are something special. You
No.
truly are. Um, I often see because I edit and I'm all in this whole literary type of world.
Mhm.
There's this one author, I don't even know her name, but I know she's always talking about changing her pain into purpose.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what you've done. You've 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 allowed pain. We're talking sickness, we're talking about death of your son. You've
Mhm.
allowed that pain to turn into purpose. And I know it's not an easy ride. And I know even now, as you still heal, whoo, but just as my mom said, keep the faith. And just as you say, keep the faith.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something, but Juva, I didn't reveal the greatest part of this. Because, see,
What's
again,
that?
I am a believer. I'm such a believer that my story couldn't end this way. And God is
Yeah.
showing me that, baby, your story ain't going to end that way because every time that people looked at you and thought that you failed, baby, I was teaching you lessons that you
Mm.
didn't know because you jumped out prematurely, so you didn't know. Prime example, the shows that I was telling you about that I did with Young and Restless Southern Players and Gucci Crew, I was jumping out
Mhm.
premature. I didn't know what I was doing. So I got with a band of brothers, and we called ourselves King of Promotions, and we was gonna put on the biggest show to ever hit Orlando right after the pandemic. Get with these
Okay.
brothers. I love these brothers. Now we got Life Jennings, we got Trina, we got Cut Close, we got Adina Howard, we got Young Bloods, we got Fabo, we got Splat
What?
Cat, AT Money, Brother Marquis. When I tell you the lineup was amazing, the lineup was something that Orlando had not seen, right?
Right.
Uh-oh, God intervened. He stopped that show. Whoa, whoa, wait. Now it's a lot of money, a lot of time. My relationship is in shambles because I'm dedicating time to this.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
focus right now. Babe, let me get to this bag so we good. Like, hold up, chill out. No understanding. But I'm focused because I know this is gonna happen and it's gonna be beautiful. And the end result is gonna be the reward that you were waiting for, that I was waiting for to give you. But I know I'm supposed to get you right. God said no. Because you didn't know that in that midst, there was something wrong. There was something that just didn't sit right in that mix. And I can't let you be a part of that. So what happened is we tried to redo it. It was supposed to be done for 2022,
Yeah.
right? I launched the commercial for 'em. Mind
Mm-hmm.
you, I'm in the blind the whole time. I know nothing. They're supposed to be calling me for group chats, and I never get the call. Well, guess what God did? Put a
What?
complete stop to it. It froze.
Oh,
Damn, that hurt. It hurt majorly because everybody looked at Rahiem. I was the face of this concert. I was the one who was the first to spearhead it. I was the first to talk about it. Any questions? Everybody came to me. They knew I was behind the concert. So those that I even tried to help, there's certain bass artists that I put on the lineup, and I don't have to mention no names because God is great at what he does, and he's a revealer.
yes, he is.
There were some people that I put on there that they don't understand. I'm not doing this to try to say I'm the man. I did it because I've watched for years as my brothers and sisters in bass have been overlooked with the biggest shows to come in our backyards, and we're never asked to be on them. You bring
Mm.
everybody and their mama to a stadium right in Miami, right in Fort Lauderdale, right in Miramar. But you won't ask the legends that paved the way for most of these artists to do what they're doing today to grace that stage. How dare you be so fucking disrespectful?
Mm.
So opposed to sitting waiting on promoters, my thing was, let's be the promoter and
Hey.
put my brothers on. So what did we decide to call it? The bass and R&B explosion. Bass
Ooh.
being first, but R&B second. Oh, we had to put R&B second. I love R&B, but this is about my brothers and sisters in bass. This is for
Yes.
y'all. When it didn't happen, niggas talked about me bad. I was everything but a child of God. I got people mad at me right now because I didn't have nothing to do with the ticket money. If you bought tickets, you go to Ticketmaster and wait for your return. That has
Right.
nothing to do with me. But people was mad at me because they couldn't get their refund fast enough from Ticketmaster. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be the scapegoat. All right. But guess what? Guess what God said, son? Now you've learned all the lessons. You know what you have to do. Connect the dots, get the sponsors, do this, that, and the third first, and then launch. And that's
Yes.
what we're doing with this Miami-based coalition. The Taking You Back tour, starring Gucci Crew 2, Young and Restless, Coffee Bean, My Boo, Miss My Boo, Prince Rahiem, and Black Sheep Bass. You know what I'm saying? He's also on the card. So you got Gucci Crew, Young and Restless, Coffee Bean, myself, Black Sheep Bass. We also have JT from Titusville, who's going to be on this first show. And as I stated, the show is moving on to Brooksville, Clewiston. It's moving all over the place. So we're going to be in Georgia. We got some things coming. We're going to be in North Carolina. We're going to be in South
Okay.
Carolina. We already have dates. So, like, I want people to understand that this journey has been just that. It's been a life lesson, and I've learned some lessons along this path. And I'm grateful for everyone. I've learned lessons about people, and I've learned lessons about forgiveness, most importantly.
Oh, that's
Because
beautiful.
how God works is certain things are going to break away, and they're meant to be broken away forever. But if God says that it can come back together and shows you that there's an opportunity, you better find forgiveness in your heart, because He gave His only begotten Son who sacrificed His life for all of us. So how dare us not forgive our fellow man if we
Amen.
said we love him? See, I
That's
love different.
amen.
People throw that word around, but they don't know what that word means. They don't really love, they fake love you. They
I
love you for
feel
what
you.
you can do for them. They love you for
Oh,
the opportunity that you present for them. But the benefit, once the benefit is over, man, that love is gone.
you're like, what? Where to go?
Man,
Right.
who are you again? Oh, damn, dog, I thought we, oh, no, man, I just, oh, okay, I see now. I get it. My bad. I was confused. My bad, bro. So, baby, I live this purpose because I'm tired of seeing mothers and grandmothers cry. I'm tired of fathers, relationships, and homes being broke up because they're too proud to step into it and let that emotion show. We are
Mm.
men, we are kings, we are warriors. There is nothing that is going to take that away from us. A tear does not deflect the fact that you are a man first. God damn it, step up into this. Embrace who you are proudly, because you can say, oh, that nigga a crybaby. I saw him on another interview crying. You goddamn right. I was crying because I'm passionate about people. You little fucker. You damn right. I'm passionate about people. And let me help you understand something. That Deanna Freeman, I did an interview with a young lady, Deanna Freeman. That's my baby. That's my sister. I did an interview with her, and on that interview, I cried because I was upset about this Clay D thing.
Yeah.
But she caught the rage of it. I hadn't got to a place of forgiveness.
Mm.
This interview here with you, darling, he's been forgiven. God is awesome. And I've extended the olive branch even on my page. Anybody that knows how to get in contact with him, please tell him to call me. We need to have a conversation as brothers.
And
Because
he
on my
knows.
end, I hold no animosity.
He knows, and he's probably watching and peeping, and he knows, and
Because see, for
God
me,
knows
this
it.
thing is deeper than rap, baby.
I
You know,
know,
it's
of
way deeper
course.
than rap. And I
That's
tell
right.
people, don't just judge me about this music stuff. There's a whole lot more to this man that y'all never knew. Listen, when I tell you I have a support system, there's a young lady I've never actually met her. Never met her. Her name is Jenny Jones. She has been a rider for me since I came in contact with her.
Jenny is
You understand me?
probably on here. I saw her. She was the one setting the alarm.
Well, let
Jenny
me
was
tell
going
you
to set the
something.
alarm.
When I tell you I am grateful to that woman, I am grateful to be able to have someone that genuinely isn't seeking nothing from me.
Yes.
They
World of
just want to be
difference.
your friend and want to help in whatever capacity they can. That's her. When I tell you a champion upon champions, a queen amongst queens, just like you,
Thank you.
I've been told you, you have been a guardian angel for me.
Thanks, Ra.
Your words, in times that you never knew, you were just sending them, but you didn't know how they resonated and hit it right when I needed them. And that's why I told you before we did this interview a couple of days ago when we spoke. I'm forever grateful
Thank you.
for who you are and the beautiful soul that you've been blessed with. Because His grace is all over you. You glow. You glow different.
Oh, wow, Ra.
See, anybody that's watching this interview and they looking at you, I know they see what I see. There's a radiance that's all over you. There's a radiance that is all over you.
Wow.
It's from here, baby. You exude it, and I love it. And I need that type of energy. So it's people like y'all that I want to surround myself with. God is so awesome. Like I said, if it's meant to be done away with, he gonna remove it if you're not strong enough to. But if
Fact.
it's meant to be, he's gonna bring it back. I've reconnected with certain brothers like my brother Bolo Baz. I love that brother. I love him with a passion. I had not spoken to him in almost 2 years. And honestly, it killed me not to speak to him. I felt that we were at the place where if me and him ran into each other, we probably was gonna fight.
Oh, wow.
But look at
Yeah.
God intervening. Look at God intervening. Because there was a lot of misinformation going between both of us. Me and him were never actually speaking, but the in-between people were throwing a lot of stuff. And it caused a lot of confusion to the point
Mm,
that we were both at a point like, man, F that nigga, F you too. And it's whatever. So this is God, man. God says sometimes you got to give it time because time can heal things that man can't.
and that's truth. That's
You step out of the way and leave it alone, put it in his hand. If it's meant to be, the spirit of the person who is supposed to be your adversary, he's going to touch that spirit. And he's going to put something upon that spirit that makes them remember who you truly
mm,
are. And it's going to humble them in a manner that they're going to have to come back. They're going to have to. That's just God's way of doing things. This universe is energies connecting, and certain energies are supposed to connect, and they go with you to a certain level, but then they fall off. Why?
yeah.
Because they're not supposed to go all the way with you.
Wow.
A lot of us try to carry extra baggage that we don't supposed to carry with us for a reason.
Right.
And what they fail to realize is you'll never reach your full purpose because you're trying to take people who are bogging you down. And they're stopping you from your purpose. You might not know that one that you got all this love for in your heart is saying, man, what the fuck does he think he's doing? Who told him he could accomplish that? Mind you, you're trying to carry this person and help this person get to a bag with you. He's
Wow.
not supposed to be there. Let it go. We have to learn to let go because once we do, he's going to reveal what your purpose is supposed to be. When you sit still, when you feel that you're at your lowest and you're all alone, because I had to get to that space.
Yes.
I had to
Oh
get
my
to a
God.
place that I felt I didn't have a relationship. I didn't have a relationship with my children. I didn't have a relationship with my mother. I didn't have a relationship with so-called brothers and friends. I had nobody that I could pick up a phone and call. I could only
That's
call
where
him.
you, oh,
I could only
you were,
call him.
yes.
He said, sit down and be still because I need to talk to you.
Mm,
Now, this journey I'm about to put you on, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to go through some things that you're not going to like, and it's going to cut. But you built for this, son. I made you. I made you. Look at how I've made you. Look at what you've endured. You done been shot. You done been stabbed. You done been slashed over the eye. You done been hit in the head, had stitches in the back of your head and all. But you still here. Why do I have you here? Because you have purpose, and I'm not done with you yet.
that's
So
right.
guess what? All of y'all who talk about me, keep on talking.
Thank you.
Because he's
And
prepared a table for me. And y'all gonna be at that table. I didn't tell you you could eat, but y'all are gonna be at that table because he wants you to see it. I still got nothing but love for y'all. Even the ones that I know talk badly about me, I got nothing but love for y'all too. Because that's what I'm supposed to do.
that's
I ain't
right.
gotta mess with y'all. Let's get that right. I ain't gotta mess with you now.
Yeah, but
But I still
you're
got to love
absolutely right. We can forgive,
you. Oh
and
yeah,
because we
I'm big
already
on
know
that.
it's more for us, you
I'm big on
know.
that because I made a lot of mistakes, baby.
And
Juva, I made a
my
lot.
purpose friends are up here. They are going. I don't know if you can see some of the comments.
I can't. I wish I could, honestly.
We got a whole.
Oh,
We
I can't
okay.
see any
So
of them. I
Jay
wish I
Diggs
could.
is on here. Your manager Jay. Ra is here for the truth. Ain't that right?
Talk about it, Jay. You know what it is, baby.
My cousin out of Memphis.
Uh-huh.
She's saying hello.
Hey,
I don't
cousin.
know what you were saying at the moment, but my mama was screaming amen. And
Yes.
and aging with grace, that's actually my prayer partner,
Thank you.
Pastor Pamela. She says this is awesome.
Thank you.
Ra,
Thank you.
you know what? If you could, okay, most proud moment.
Hmm.
What
Most
was your
proud
most
moment.
proud moment?
Okay. Most proud moment was honestly embracing being a father.
I love
That
it.
was honestly the most proud moment because it I didn't know it was gonna happen. I didn't know when it was gonna happen. I just know I've always been one that wanted a family. I come from a very big family, but I have no siblings. I have no blood brother or sister. So I was always the only child. I had to figure it out. Play by yourself.
Yes,
If you
I
want
can imagine.
punishment, you got to figure it out. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was one of those kids. So I became very creative. My mind just, but it was like, it was always about people for me. Always. It's always going to be about people. I love people.
Okay. And the last one, this probably just be for my own enjoyment. Because you are, I still find it real hard to believe. I don't know if
What?
I fully believe you when you say that you didn't know how to rap.
Listen, I promise you. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. There's a MC out of New York. He goes by the name of Reddy Roxy. And he had a song, Casanova Rudd and Reddy Roxy. They had a song called Girls, I Got 'Em Locked.
Okay.
Now, me coming out of New York, moving to Florida, I'm thinking they don't have what we got in New York because, again, Florida was behind us on a lot of music. However,
Right.
this particular DJ Magic Mike, this nigga was different.
Uh-huh.
How he always up in New York, so he always going to the record stores getting all the new records from New York. But I didn't know that. So as I spit this rap, he giving me this look like, and I'm like, uh-oh, this nigga know that ain't me. I said, this nigga know it ain't me. He about to blow me up. So he let me do the whole rap. I said, well, what did you think? He said, well, I think Casanova Rudd and Super Level C would love you. I said, well, damn. I said, he knew. I said, this fucker knew. And he let me do the whole thing anyway. I said, he probably gonna send me home now. I'm mad. Now I'll put on the mad face because I'm mad. You played me. You let me say this whole rap and you knew. He was like, but you know what? Let me tell you something. Why are you not writing your own stuff? You got a tone. If you could remember and recite theirs, you can write for yourself. The same way you put those words together, you can put your own words together and tell a story. I know you got some stories. What brought you down here? And I told him about my best friend dying, my best friend being murdered. Robert, aka Divine. Ha, yeah. So I told him that story and he was like, we're gonna write. And that's where it started. So I literally was a beatbox. I did not know how to put words together. That was Divine's thing. He was a freestyle genius. I mean, you could put my man Divine in a room, God bless the dead, put him in any room, and it could be 30 people in the room. If you tell him to rap about every person, go from one to none, he's going to walk around the room and tell you something about everybody in that, what they was wearing, how this dude had a pimple on his nose that looked like a witch bump. He goes, listen, he was hilarious, timing impeccable. He was a genius, but his life was snubbed too soon. You
Right.
know, too soon, gone too soon. Just like my son, gone too soon. So he's my purpose. He's why everywhere I go, they will hear JoJo World. My daughters live in his purpose because they fought to get where they are. My 12-year-old was at a point of depression where she ballooned up. She just ate herself
Yeah.
to a weight that she never was at. And she was uncomfortable in her skin. She didn't want to go out. She was very, very introverted. And I had to watch that. You know, it was hard to see.
Yeah.
But she fought. To see my daughter wear a leotard and be proud and be posing like, look at me, that's the baby I remember. My
Wow. Well,
4-year-old, who is now
your
7.
babies are killing it out here in
Come
this
on now, you see my 7. You see
thing.
my Ellie Belly. She ain't
Oh,
playing with nobody.
I tell you what, we're gonna have to have I'm gonna have to have a whole purpose conversation strictly with them, and
Yes, I would love that. My daughters would love that too.
I
Trust me.
would love it. Oh my gosh, I would love it. I would love it.
Because they're in
Okay.
it, they're on their journey. You know, although my daughter Sanai dances, everybody knows the dance part is really Ellie's passion and singing is Sanai's passion. My daughter has an angelic voice. I have
Mm.
another daughter down in South Carolina, Nazaya, another one with an angelic voice. So, you know, there's a lot that's going to go on in these next couple of months to this next year. And I
But
want
it's
people to
beautiful
prepare.
when they get the opportunity to see firsthand. They see their parents doing what it is that's been presented to them
Hmm.
and allowing themselves to become unstuck
Oh
and
yeah,
unstoppable
that's
and
right.
pursuing that thing, whether it's a vocation, whether it's a situation, whether it's a hardship or whatever. It speaks to our children, and it encourages them in a way,
It
because when
does.
they see that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I need to do, I'm gonna pursue what I need to pursue,
That's
it
right.
speaks volumes to them. I was gonna ask you to bless the purpose conversation as we get ready to wrap up, but I don't know if you want to do it. But I,
What's
I
that?
I don't know. Can you? I don't know if you can freestyle or if you could give us a little something, because you did one the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, I had to share your daggone video. I was like, that daggone Rahiem got it.
Okay. Let me see this.
I'm
I'll
ready.
give you
I'm
this
ready.
one. Give you a little history of how I came up. I came from bumming on the block with tank top shorts and flip flops on, where black kids tap double dutch and hip hop's bone. On the corner with the rest of the fam, thinking how the hood changed in a 30-year span. Remember when we used to run up in the crib before the street lights on? Now kids run from gunshots, cause the street fights on. Them D's on the block, hustling from dawn to dusk, scheming on them niggas, fiending for them cokehead cuts. Remember Donnie, he got caught up in that 4-4 clutch, bust him in the mouth. Guess that meant he talked too much. You crossed the wrong line, even put your foot upon it one time. Win a free tombstone, coffin, the whole nine. We used to laugh together,
Mm,
even smash together. Mama said nothing lasts forever. Dog, we bundled up and made it through the coldest weather. Eternally in my memories, my golden treasure. But give me one gripe, give me one struggle, one fight, one prayer, one night. I reach for the
mm,
sunlight. See, I'm never gonna quit it until it's done right. Cause I
mm.
remember days cold as September. I love
Yes.
y'all. I love y'all.
Like I said, honey, Ra is a prince, but he's
Thank you.
also a king. And this king had something to say. Thank you. Thank you. Don't even feel like enough.
I
Thank you
know.
so very much.
No.
And thank you for all of my purpose friends that came in and checked out
Yes.
this
Thank
interview
y'all.
tonight.
Mom, thank you. Pastor, thank you. Cuz, thank you. Jenny, anybody that's in this group right now that's watching this live, Jay, y'all know what it is, man. Jay has rolled through me, with me, and has been right with me. And when I say Jay, I gotta say his wife too, because when I tell you I call and annoy the hell out of Jay, and I know she probably be like, tell me that ain't Rahiem calling again. Goddamn it, he done called like 10 times than that. But you know what? When I say thank you, Jay, I say thank you to her too. I always tell her, man, tell her I said thank you for sharing you with me, because she
That's
literally
right.
did. You
That's
feel me?
right. And I say thank you to Jay too, because
Facts.
I
That's my dude right there.
blow
I
him
love
up.
you.
And I told him, I said, I'm so glad that you're there and you helped to keep him straight and everything. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, well, I try.
that's my go-to. Man, I appreciate him so much. I'm indebted to that man forever, for real.
Wow.
Grateful.
This has been awesome. You
Yes,
are
it has.
awesome. I thank you for taking the time, oh my gosh, to share with my purpose friends,
Yes.
to share, to be vulnerable, to thank you for this interview and thank you for just you and your journey and your story and thank
I
you.
just want to say one last thing before we part.
Yes.
And I'm going to end it like this. Heavenly Father, I come to you in the mighty name of Jesus. And I'm pretty sure that there might have been somebody that's going through something that's listening right now, Father. And I ask that you encamp your angels around them, Father, and allow them reassurance to know that no matter what they're going through in this moment, it is just that. It's a moment and it too shall pass. Reassure them and let them know that you are the one and only true living God and that you are real. See, for I know who you truly are, and I want you to reveal yourself proudly to these people who are non believers. Allow them to see who you are so that they can't deny it, so that they can speak on your greatness as I have done tonight, Father. I thank you for this opportunity with my sister, and I thank you for the opportunity for anyone who's within my voice. Father God, if they haven't given themselves to you and they don't believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, I hope that tonight transformed them and that something that I said resonated with somebody to let them see you, that I stand behind the cross. Father, I didn't want them to see me tonight. I pray that tonight they saw you. And with that stated, Father, I say amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Purpose Friends. And you guys, as always, until we meet again, I am going to say, please, please continue to seek, discover, and to pursue your purpose on purpose. You've been watching the Purpose Conversation. Good night,
Mm.
everybody.